for Obama. If you hate the Bush tax cuts so much, then why did you renew them? Let me repeat myself. President Obama in 2010, you renewed the Bush tax cuts. The Bush tax cuts were supposed to expire in 2010. You renewed them for another 2 years. But I thought you hated those. You even went so far to blame the Bush tax cuts for the crash itself. So the Bush tax cuts are so awful, why did you sign them back into law? And then you go around bragging, hey, I cut your taxes. No, you just kept the rates the same. Now, you say, well, Congress is the one. They're the ones who renewed the Bush tax cuts. Well, you're the president. You have a little thing called a veto. You could have vetoed it. You hate the Bush tax cuts so much, then why did you renew them in 2010? All right, personal question for Romney. Mitt Romney, let's say hypothetically you do become president. You're in the White House. You get a call at 2 in the morning. It's from an old buddy of yours. Let's say it's a friend from your old company, Bain Capital. And he says, Romney, we got problems. I made a big mistake. We're in trouble. The company's in trouble. We need some federal money here. Would a President Romney bail out his own company, Bain Capital? If Bain Capital needed a bailout, would you give your own company a bailout? Now, you're on record saying that you were against all the bailouts. You were against the GM bailouts, and you were against some of the other bailouts. But if it's your own company, would you give it? Obama, you're on record saying that you don't want to do any more bailouts. But let's say GM goes bankrupt again. And GM again says, we can't sell enough Chevy Volts. We're not selling enough cars here. We need another bailout. You're on record saying no more bailouts. Do you give GM another bailout? Or shouldn't? Or is there something wrong with their business practice here? Question for both candidates while we're still on the subject of bailouts. Are either one of you going to pledge to reinstate Glass-Steagall? That was a Wall Street regulation that was in for 60 years. 60 years. It was put in there after the Great Depression. It was repealed in the 90s. Oh, gee. What happened shortly after it was repealed? It was put in there after the Great Depression for a reason. What that law stated was that investment banks and commercial banks had to be kept at arm's length. So commercial banks and investment banks were fused together. And then they made really stupid and high-risk decisions on this. So would either of you reinstate that? Question for Romney. Your fellow Republicans, Todd Akin and Murdoch, and a few others, have come out and said something really dumb, may even cost you the election. Akin and Murdoch are on record saying that they oppose abortion even in cases of rape. Murdoch even went so far to say that it was God's will that that woman be raped and carry on the child. Do you condemn what they said? This is not a explain it away, yes or no. Do you condemn what they say, or do you agree with what they say? Final question for Obama. On Twitter, there is a lot of followings, there's a lot of talk on Twitter. At least, I think I saw at least 10,000 people have signed on to this, saying some of your most ardent and die-hard supporters have said that if you lose the election, that they will start riots in the streets. You tell them and condemn them for that and say, no, don't resort to that. All right, NASA. Romney, you're on record saying that you think PBS can stand up on its own money and that you want to make as much cuts as possible. Well, wouldn't it be a better idea to make budget cuts? I want to ask this to both candidates. We send billions of dollars to foreign countries that hate us. Let me repeat myself. We give billions of dollars to countries that hate us. They take our money, they say, thank you, death to America, until the check clears. So before you cut off PBS, and by the way, I agree, Sesame Street. Sesame Street makes millions of dollars off of their merchandising alone. They make millions of dollars off of Tickle Me Elmo dolls. So I kind of see what Romney's saying. Why do they need my government money? You can fund that whole show on the Tickle Me Elmo dolls alone. But that being said, before you attack PBS, there's other government programs that should be cut first. President Obama, a year and a half ago, there was an oil pipeline being built from Canada that was going to go through the Dakotas. This was an oil pipeline. They were going to create 20,000 jobs. You ordered that that oil pipeline be stopped for environmental reasons. You could have created 20,000 jobs right there, but you put it to a screeching halt. Why? Romney, you're on record saying that you would unleash domestic oil drilling and you would unleash domestic coal drilling. Okay. What about the environmental impacts? What if there's another oil spill and what if there's another coal spill? What penalties would you give to the oil companies or the coal companies? Or what provisions would you put in to either make sure that doesn't happen, or if it happens, to make sure that the damage is minimal? Would you fine them up the yin-yang? Regulations. Romney, you're on record saying that you think Wall Street should be deregulated more. Well, what regulations should stay? And the Democrats are saying that it was too much deregulation, which is why we got into this crash, and I actually agree with them on that one. So shouldn't there be a police, or kind of like in the NFL, should we have some referees on Wall Street to throw flags whenever they see something wrong going on? Now, question for Obama. There's too much regulation at the bottom. Lemonade stands are being shut down by local cities because the little 5-year-old girl didn't pay a $500 government fee. Mayor Mike Bloomberg says that you cannot sell sodas more than 20 ounces. San Francisco has banned Happy Meals, and they're even trying to ban fast food joints. Do you think that's too much government regulation, or do you agree with those government regulations? That lemonade stands need to be shut down and that they have to pay federal fees, that the government should tell you how much soda to drink, and that the government should tell you whether or not you can have a Happy Meal? Alright, the health care bill. Obama, I'm going to just have a very simple question about the health care bill. I'm going to stay away from death panels and contraceptions and all that jazz. Here's what I'll point out. Your wife, Michelle Obama, she's a really healthy lady. She exercises, she's got biceps, she promotes healthy eating. Fairly say your wife's a healthy person, correct? Now, let me show you a picture. This lady is on the Guinness Book of Records as being the fattest mother in America. This person weighs anywhere between 500 to 800 pounds. There's a lady who's trying to be on the Guinness Book of Records for weighing 1,000 pounds. She's getting fat on purpose. She is on the Guinness Book of Records as the fattest mother in America. Oh wait, okay, there's more. She smokes too. President Obama, under your health care plan, your wife Michelle has to pay the exact same health care rate as the fattest mother in America. Your wife has to pay the same health care rate as the people on The Biggest Loser. People weigh 300, 400, 500 pounds, and who smoke, and who never exercise. How is that fair? Mr. President, if there's someone who's a vegetarian, a vegan, exercises, ride their bikes every day, they have to pay the same health insurance rate as me, even though I'm not that healthy. Now, let's get straight. I'm overweight. I'm not as healthy as a vegetarian who bicycle rides every day. Why shouldn't that person get a discount? You're on record saying it was wrong for insurance companies to charge people differently. Well, I can understand you want insurance companies to cover as many people as possible, but why shouldn't they charge just a teensy-weensy bit more for severely unhealthy lifestyles? I should pay more health insurance than someone who's skinny and rides his bike every day and who eats vegetables all the time. And I should not pay as much health insurance as someone who weighs 500 pounds who's going to drop dead of a heart attack any minute. How is that fair? And I think you missed an opportunity here. Your wife talks about healthy eating and fighting obesity all the time, right? Wouldn't this have been a good opportunity? That if you lose weight, you get a discount on your health insurance. If you quit smoking, you get a discount on your health insurance. Kind of like Flo from Progressive. Oh, did you lose weight? Discount. Oh, quit smoking? Discount. But no, under your health insurance rate, the healthiest person in America got to pay the exact same health care rate as someone who's about to die any second now. How's that fair? And another thing, you said over and over again under your health care plan, if I like my health insurance, I can keep it. Mr. President, I personally visited with my health insurance company. I found out that is not true. I have to switch plans in 2 years or else I will go to jail. That's a fact. Romney, you know what question I'm going to ask. You keep saying that you want to ban Obamacare, ban Obamacare, ban Obamacare. Well, hold on a minute. You had a very similar bill in Massachusetts that you were bragging about, but we'll come back to that in just a minute. You gave a speech about stuff that you would actually keep from Obamacare. And from what I understand, you want to keep everything from Obamacare except for the mandate and the free women's contraceptives and the free sex pills. Other than that, it sounds like you want to keep most of the other stuff. Now, so if you're gonna repeal Obamacare, what the hell are you gonna replace it with? I want specifics. Another question for Romney, and this is more against the Republican Party. The Republican Party in the last 30 years, yeah. So you had Reagan for 8 years, Bush 1 for 4, that makes 12, then you had Bush 2 for 8 years. The Republican Party has had the White House and a good amount of Congress for pretty much 20 of the last 30 years. Where the hell was your health care plan? The Democrats were in a hurry with their health care bill. Now, you criticized the Democrats that they spent the first 2 years of Obama's presidency trying to pass a new health care bill. Where the hell was your plan? You had all this time. George W. Bush, he had the White House, the House, and the Senate all to himself for 6 years. You had plenty of time to come up with your own plan. So where was it? All right? So these are my tough questions for all the candidates. Both of them just pointed some stuff out. Vote however you want to vote. I just wanted to say this before the election. I may do a video where I'll make election predictions and so on. Till then, this has been Volcano Me.